Yesterday we were configuring the timesheet, right? So let us do that from beginning. Like I told you, to configure the employee central timesheets, we have to navigate to manage data, and the first setup to configure in the system is creating the time type. So in this scenario, I'm selecting it as working hours. So classification is attendance, external code, work hours. Click on save. So this is the first configuration. Next one is time type group. So you remember, like yesterday, we faced some minor issue. That is because we did not created the time type group based on the recorded overtime and calculated time. So which means we have to create two time type groups at any cost. Okay. So attendance is one. Now time type group we have to create uh, working hours. Total two time type groups we have to create. So let's say first one working hours, working hours, not calculating on overtime. So this is calculated time. Data is UI component is external code, working hours. Okay. So click on save. So in this scenario, I have selected the time category, which is very important as calculated time. So which means this will calculate the time, and the next one we have to create it in a overtime category. Time type group again. So it's a working hours one. So here I have to record the overtime, for example, because considering the future classes. Now, no UI component, external keys, working hours one. So here you have to select the one which you created earlier. Okay. So even this is the time type, right? This is the time type group. So in time type group, especially when you have selected that time category recorded over time, you have to map it with the time type. So for the second one, you have to map it with the first one. Then click on save for here. Then the next setting is time valuation. So again, this would be like working hours only. Only one time evaluation we will create. Fixed value. Every day anything above 8.5 I'll select it as. So time type group below is select working hours, the first one which I created, and here the time type group of the second one, right, which is working hours one. Okay, so okay, you can save, right? So time valuation is completed. Now finally we are left with time recording profile. So the typical duration, first to record extra. So now we will create the time valuation which we just created. So it was working hours, I guess. So click on save. Now let us test this configuration at an employee level again. So here select the working hours, save, right, then refresh. So here go to timesheet. So Monday 8 hours, total 8 hours and 8 hours, and anything above we haven't created like overtime, so it will not consider as overtime. So everything will be considered into regular hours. But still, if you observe here, you cannot see that regular hours option populating. So for that, what you need to do is time valuation. So user interface component, as if you enable it as yes, ideally system should show it here. But let us see, because we already assigned it to an employee. I'm not sure whether it will show directly or not. I guess I have to again redo from the beginning. So this is the basic configuration of creating a, regular hours time type. Is it clear, guys? Should we proceed to the next configuration of overtime? Hello.
Mahinder, can you repeat the uh,
Uh-huh.
time
So,
type group? Like you created two time types, right? Working hours
uh-huh.
as one. So you assign the second time group with the first one.
Okay. Yeah, got it. So let me take you through that once again. Let's say first I'm creating a time type group, right? And then regular working hours, for example. Okay. And here, let me select calculated time again. External code is,
And time, pay time, yes.
yeah, okay. Now, if you see here, I have selected the time category into calculated time. And let us see if system accepts a attendance time type. So which means will the system accept these associations or not? Let us see. So once you click on save, system throws an error like for a time type group with this category, no time types can be assigned. Now the category is this one, time category one. Okay. For a time type group marked as time pay type, the external code should not longer than 10 characters. Okay. It might be extending 10 characters. So there will be an issue with what we say in the payroll integration. So this cannot be designed. I mean, so the association cannot be defined here. So which means we anything which says as calculated time, you cannot define association with the time type. So you have to save here, as simple as that. And in the next one, time type group. So here another regular working hours. So here we need to record the overtime. So even you can select both here. Now let us try selecting this. Ideally the system accepts. So what does this represents when it comes to the timesheet? So here recorded overtime means we are asking the system to record it as an overtime. But again, on what basis? So on what basis? On a regular hours basis. So anything above regular hours that has to be converted into the overtime only. Okay.
So
How?
calculate time means the regular hours. I
Yes.
mean, oh, okay.
The calculated hours means, so first we are asking the system to calculate regular hours. So which one they have to calculate? We are straight away saying this is the time type group only, and you calculate as a basic only. Now for overtime, I need to define anything as the above. Okay, and that is we are defining at time valuation, right? Time type group below and above. So group below here we are selecting let's say regular hours. Let me create one more thing.
Then what does the option above
So
take care?
anything above time type group should be considered as overtime. So once we start creating these over time, this is the place where we define that.
Okay, man.
So valuation per day, threshold is fixed value, and it is 8 hours. Click on save. So here I made a switch. Sorry, to regular. Here it should be regular working hours. Regular working hours with the next one. Yeah. Now finally, time recording profile once again. Let us try clock times. No. In time test we have defined the clock times of the guess. Right.
Mahindra have a
So now again let us go back and assign this to the same employee.
Mahindra have a question. Mahindra, can you hear me?
Hi Sandeep, your voice is too low, Sandeep. I'm not sure whether this is a problem with me or others as well, but your voice is too low for me.
Oh,
Can you come closer to the mic, or you can chat if required?
yeah. Now you can hear me?
Uh, Quite okay, I would say. Yeah. So please tell me.
Few companies check like 9 to 5, right? And few companies like only timing hours, like 8 hours, right? So how can
Right.
we do that?
Yeah. So can you see the time recording variant here? So here it can be clock times or duration. So this is the only two ways of entering the timesheet in SuccessFactors system. So duration represents like anything 8 hours as you told, and when it comes to the clock in clock times, so it precisely says hours and minutes.
Okay.
And to support these clock times, your configuration should also be defined in a clock times manner only. Let us see if this accepts. Times. Save. Let me change this to clock times. So we have to change a few other configurations as well. So let us try create changing those. Right, profile. TP underscore normal. So we are in mid of the configuration, Sandeep. System is not allowing. Probably we have to do it from the beginning.
Oh,
That's the problem. Or if you guys have created anything with clock based, then we can go ahead and assign to this employee from beginning. I would say.
it's okay, man.
Change this to Now let us try proxy as Jeff for now. Right. So even if it is 10, 10. So everything is being considered as regular hours only. So no overtime we have defined in the system, and this is the configuration. So are we clear with this configuration, guys? The basic configuration.
Yes, man.
Both Sudhir and Sandeep clear with this.
Yes, Mahendra.
Yes, man.
Okay. Now let us try creating one of the business scenario while defining the cost center. I mean, while defining the or entering the timesheets. In most of the companies, the requirement is like, let's say, your company is owning like your company has total 10 ongoing projects, out of which you are assigned to two projects in the company. The requirement is like, I need employees to link their timesheet entries to the project. Okay. So here currently you can see it is by default populating cost center only. However, the requirement is they have to link this to a project, and ideally that's how the original timesheets will work in the organizations. Even till date today, I have like I can see like four different drop downs in my timesheet entry. The internal timesheet product, I would say, I'll select working hours only, but there is a requirement to split the time of total 8 hours. Let's say for morning 2 hours, I was working with one of the UAE client, and after the 2 hours, then I was working with one of the Kenyan client for 4 hours, and then I'm configuring the system for rest of the 2 hours, so which is summing up to total 8 hours. But how do we differentiate that Kenya client, Dubai client, and internally configurations and all that stuff? That is based on the configurations what you can see here. So instead of having the cost center here, what we can do is, or what SuccessFactors system allows is to create custom drop downs. Okay. And I told you it in the beginning of the MDF class only, like all the timesheets and time off configurations are based on metadata framework only. So which means this configuration is available at one of the object in configure object definitions. So we have to figure it out that now. Let us proceed. Did we understand the business scenario, guys?
Yes, Mahendra.
Okay. Let us see this into a timesheet entry. Can you see here? This is the one which I guess, we are selecting. Create new.
Mahendra, the requirement is three different clients and three distributed timesheets, which equals to 8 hours.
8 hours, right?
Now I have to the candidate has to submit three different timesheets, right?
So timesheet entries.
Entries, okay.
Prepare blueprint or configuration like this. Iterations. Select iterations. Demo. System demo. INT, UAT, so this is UAT, this is config, this is config. Let's save for now. Hashtag details. Guys, do you still remember these configurations? The MDF configurations? I guess long back we did. Hello?
Yes, Mahendra.
Yes, Mahendra.
Are you sure?
5 minutes back.
And guys, because we did not practice very regularly, and we have almost to the end of EC now. And if you look back, it's too much. No, I don't want to enable this cost center, so I'll select as not visible for now. You can save. It's, now, can you see these guys here? Walking time. Now earlier it was appearing like cost center. Now I did not delete it because it's a standard field. I just made it as not visible. However, as per my requirement, I have inserted project code and task type. So let us try to update the timesheets in a real-time scenario. So let's assume yesterday, so the very first 1 hour 30 minutes was a demonstration for a Saudi Arabia client. And the task type is what I will select is system demonstration. I was working in the company, right? And next 30 minutes was with the Kenyan client. So there was a discussion with users. And then next 3 hours and let's say 30 minutes is the Dubai client, and that is let's say blueprint preparation or configuration workbooks, we can say 5.5 hours. Now that's 2 hours and 30 minutes. It was for the same UAE client, and we were doing internal UAT. Now total hours is 8, right? And that 8 hours has been split into these many tasks. Now understand from the business functionality, guys, no one requires, like whether you are entering or not on a daily basis or a weekly basis, all that doesn't matter. But once the payroll cutoff date is reached or it's just crossed, the top management will pull the reports of the timesheet entries, and they will see how many hours allocated to different projects on a top level manner, and the next granular level manner, what are the different tasks each employee performed. Now based on that, they will see or they will compare the budgets, expenses versus profits and losses, and all that stuff will be compared within a dashboard. So that's the next level or a high level this thing. But however, that is the requirement. And trust me, there were certain things which they asked us to link, we couldn't, and the client did not went through timesheet implementation because of the system limitation. So the product is not that matured, I would say. Very frankly, I'm saying it has too many limitations. It is not meeting at least the 50% of the business requirement, I would say. But however, SAP is continuously putting so much of effort to integrate it into multiple ERPs or other systems. Earlier, not even the integration available with the biometric systems. Most of the companies, they don't log into system only to log in and check out. I mean, log in and log out details to be entered into the system. It was not like that. All they used to do is finger scan and just get into their work. That's it. Most of the companies did try integration, but even it was not available. Okay, but after so many quarters, SuccessFactors has released, but again with certain limitations. So if you're in an interview, if they ask, can we do this, can we do that? Straight away tell them, no, to best of my knowledge, integration is 100% not available till date. Even the customizations is very limited, and most of the integration supports only duration based and not clock in clock out based. Okay, because this is the latest update. Now we have to wait for the another month update. So are we clear with these guys? How do we configure and how do we split our working hours in a real scenario?
Mind, is there any ways like we can block the timesheet? Like if a employee did not enter his timesheet for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, then the timesheet will be blocked. Like I mean, he won't be able to go back and fill the timesheet. So,
Yeah. Even that condition is available, but not on a single day. I would say I'll take you through that. Tomorrow
oh,
probably we will create overtime as well, and we'll see how the overtime will be working here. Then we will see. We will look at the rest of our configurations.
oh, I mean, mind in the real time, like, do the 8 hours be so much busy?
Yes, 8 hours is not sufficient for you. Trust me. Sometimes you need to work for continuously 40 hours. Sometimes 38, 36 hours as well. And to the worst case, it would be more than 24.
So we have to go with German client.
You know what? Because they will outsource, your Indian manager will be in back office continuously. Even though it is German client, now if you raise any issues, you're gone. Trust me, guys. There was a situation. I would say like Tuesday was a holiday, and Wednesday was iteration one, the very first iteration, and that's the first project in our company 2 years back on Employee Central, and it is one of a famous European client, which is a service provider. On Monday, when we are performing this internal UAT, system started throwing an error, and fortunately, and unfortunately, everyone has packed our bags at like 7:30. We are about to leave. All of a sudden the consultant came to a manager and told us like system throwing an error. Even I was part of the configuration, and we have to stay in office till 3:30 in the morning. And the instructions from a manager, okay guys, now it is taking too much of time, let's go take some rest. I know anyways you will wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Even if not, put some alarm or whatever it is, wake up, get ready and start working on the system. The system should be ready by Wednesday. Straight instructions. So we hardly got to sleep for 2 or 3 hours, I would say. And sometimes you don't even get that.
Moral of the story is you need to carry toothbrush along with you every day to the office.
You don't even find that time. Trust me. They will say, "Are you feeling sleep? Let me serve you coffee." No, but again, like during your interviews, guys. So when it comes to the timesheet, you don't discuss too much about this. Trust me.
Okay.
Even till date, what we say is yes, we can create a regular hours, overtime hours, on call duty, on break. Yes, earlier the positive and negative not available, but however now those are available. We can configure to some level. Now, so even in our interviews, let's say even if we are facing interview with the client, when the client says does the system supports integration, I will say no. Based on your configuration, based on your system which you are using, based on your database, we will raise a ticket with SAP and let us get a confirmation from them. If they say okay, it is possible, then we will make it happen. If they say no, it is not possible, we are not going to end up in warming up our chairs for 18 hours, 16 long hours in the company just to make it happen. It's as simple as that. Yeah, when it comes to the timesheet, now it is so mature. You can speak like any business scenario, or you can also define whatever you are currently using in your organization. You can say yes, I was part of the implementation, and this is what the company policies, this is what I have configured, and these are the standard leave types which this company follows. You can provide that. But when it comes to the timesheet, you will be very precise, firm and clear, as simple as that. No harm with that.
Okay.
But that will be a limitation for success factors, right? I mean, for especially for the AC module,
Yes,
may drawback when we go
and
for a client.
I'm agreeing with your statement 100%, Sudhir. And but till date, you know what SuccessFactors is promising? They are releasing some quarterly upgrades respected to the timesheet. And if I have to be very frank, after thorough 2 years only, system success factors team working on timesheet system, because earlier they were so much focused on time off only. The main reason, SAP on-prem system, it is so mature, and that will last forever, I would say. Even till date, you cannot match with SAP on-prem system. However, any company who is going with the EC and who don't have any SAP on-prem before, their requirements can be met in time off. That is for sure, I would say. That is for sure. But when it comes to the timesheet, we never promise to the client. We never and never promise. We straight away say, see, if you're using this, it's okay. Go ahead, use that. But make sure you have a time administrator, and he is continuously looking at these timesheet entries. If you need import or upload feature to be enabled, because we know this is an MDF object, it supports import and export, right? So from there we will train them how to import and export. That's it, as simple as that. Because nothing else we can do and nothing else they can do. They have already procured the license. That's it.
Okay.
So guys, if you are okay with this basic configuration of for regular hours, tomorrow we will create regular hours along with one overtime time type. Okay. So again, that will be from scratch again, like creating a time type group, time valuation, and time recording profile. So those are the four standard steps we use for enabling the timesheets. Guys, did I take you through one important feature in Employee Central? This how do we enable this time off and timesheet functionality? Do you guys know that?
You're checking with, you're asking the role-based permission
Yes, yes,
manager
yes.
or? Yes,
No, no,
manager.
no. Not from a permission perspective, but did I taken you? How do we enable these timesheet feature, timesheet functionalities, or time of functionality, dependence management, and all that stuff? I'm sure. So even I might have this. Anyways, so if you remember the initial classes, what I told you, like EC to MDF, right? You remember, like all the Employee Central configurations are being migrated into metadata framework. So as
Yeah.
part of that, what SuccessFactors did is, instead of getting into the provisioning system and enabling certain features, so earlier, what we used to do is, we every time we used to log into the backend system to enable the dependence management or position management, or let's say time off or timesheet or anything like that. But now uh, those has been migrated to the front end only. So if you go with manage employee central settings here, so this is just a one-click activation in the system. I would say, like most of the features are enabled just by selecting on off.
So only the MDF objects.
Yeah, anything related to the MDF
Yeah.
configurations, they have pushed it to forward. So this is just to reduce both the implementation partner company's time and the SAP's time. See, once you are done with the implementation, you will surrender the system to the client and you will be out of the picture. Right now, let's say tomorrow SAP has released a new functionality for which, let's say, out of 1,000 customers in the world, let's say 250 clients are opting for this feature. So what does the 250 does? They will raise a ticket with SAP to enable this feature and functionality. So which means, for these 250 clients, there should be a number of hours dedicated by SAP to just to enable this functionality. Now to reduce that, they have put that into the front end only, because everything is available in the front end. The document is clearly mentioned. How do we enable? How do we navigate to this page? Do whatever you want to. As simple as that. So we don't need to raise a request with SAP anymore. And the reason, how do we enable or disable? Sometimes this can be your question in certification as well.
Minus, there is some delay. What you're telling and what is on my
Sudhir, Sudhir, sorry,
screen.
your voice is some kind of lagging. Can you be closer to the mic?
No, and minus, there is some delay. What you're saying and what the screen is showing. Your voice is your voice is going fast and system screen is showing very slow.
Oh, is it? Guys, is it the same with the rest of you as well, or is it only for Sudhir?
Good from my end, Mahendra.
Same here, man. Good it is.
Yeah. So Sudhir, there might be an internet connection delay from your end. I would say. But let me know if you did not understand any of these the feature settings or whatever it is. So or you can draft me an email so that I can explain you in detail. No problem with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Sorry about
Mahendra,
that.
like I remember you told us that you'll walk us through the validate rules. That is in the time of, I guess. Not sure.
Validation rules.
Yes, Mahendra, validation. Like you told that you'll gonna walk us through the validation rules.
Sure.
I mean, oh,
Sure, Sudhir. I will take you through that.
okay, man. I mean,
And,
like,
and
okay, go ahead, Mahendra. Sorry,
no,
sorry
no.
for
So
that.
please make a note of these validation rules. I told you like methodology and implementation, business scope, some XYZ things. I told you like I will take you in the last session from a consultant perspective. So which we really do in our real time scenarios. So under this, make a note so that we can discuss in detail on that day.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Project
Yeah.
plan, methodology, and validation rules.
Yeah, project plan is really important, and it's very essential. How do you communicate with the client on what dates, etc., etc.? That's the complete one-stop solution for you. Yeah, please go ahead with your next question.
So, man, like, I mean, as I said, like when we focus like on the EC, I thought like I mean the important. I want you to help us with the important topics like I mean focus here should be on position management or like time off the timesheets. So, I mean, the earlier classes were like simply like those things were MDF objects, like where we create, I mean, like the corporate data model or succession data model.
Hmm.
So, I want to do the focus point. So, where we have to focus more in order to get good hold on the EC module.
So you
I
have
just
to focus more on the business rules, time off, and MDF objects to sustain in the market, to be on top, no matter what. Time off and MDF are crazy, and along with the business rules. If you are really willing to work on these MDF objects or business rules and UA rules, I can give you a scenario as well to build some custom portlets, or you can simply try creating one of the portlet which we did for another client or another institute. I don't remember, but we tried a lot. But during that time, it was too much of limitations and time constraint. We couldn't complete that. So the requirement is the ticketing portal, I would say. Okay, let's say there are many employees in the organization. Let's say like 5,000 employees, and there should be a place in the system, success factor system, because we can create 25 objects in the system, right? 25 custom objects. Employees should be able to go ahead and raise a ticket respective to their job. let's say request on the documents, request on the passport, request on degree certificates, request on bond or whatever it is, or extension of this thing, stay, hotel accommodation, everything, anything related to the employee request has to be built in a custom portlet, and accordingly system has to trigger those workflows. So if you need, I can give you a complete document prepared by my team. I guess I should have that in my laptop. You can go ahead with that. But trust me, if there is something which speaks in your resume is MDF object, time off, and rules, normal rules and time off rules as well.
So, man, when you said raising a ticket, like, can't we facilitate that? I mean, like we did, like, I mean, travel expense or raising request like travel expenses. So we can create in the same way, or we have to uh, navigate somewhere else.
See, the one what we did is a very basic, Sudhir. Okay, now that thing, if even if I try to project that to any of the head of HR now, they will cook me like anything. Trust me, frankly speaking. That's the
Okay.
very basic. Not even a 50 employees company will go with that basic 5 fields or 6 fields, because we did not configure much type of travels and all that stuff. Okay. Now let me tell you one of the scenario, especially for Dubai. There are certain companies which has like cleaner, floor cleaners, glass cleaners, security guards as well, right? They have a different grade in the system. So their record will be existing in the success factor system, and they have a different grade, although they cannot access and all that stuff. However, every activity will be taken care by respective HR, and every 2 years the company will allow them to travel to their location. So mostly to India, Karimnagar, Mehboob or whatever it is. But end of the day, they have to come and land in Hyderabad. So which means the requirement is they have to enable a portrait which called as a travel ticket, and based on conditions, system should either allow or restrict. If I'm a floor cleaner in that company, and as soon as I complete my 1 year, and if I'm getting into a system and trying to raise a request stating for book a ticket from let's say Abu Dhabi to Hyderabad, system should restrict. System should not allow me. Okay, this is one scenario. Now let's say I am the director of the company. Now I should have an option to select business class as well. And for rest of the population, it is as simple as that. They cannot select business. It should be only economy out of the drop down. Now again, there is one more condition. They say if there is a drop down, people will go and select. They will first go with the business. Then after system throws an error, then they will go with the economy class. I don't want to do that. By default, system has to populate economy class, and that should be read only for that specific grades. So this is the requirement. Now, if you explain in this way to the client, then they can understand, okay, the system has certain functionality based on the business process that can be accommodated. Okay. Now in that level, the custom objects has to be created. Now all these rules and all that stuff, those are the validation rules. We have to accommodate that in the system. That's a business scenario, guys. Again, trust me, that's a real business scenario for one of the Dubai client. If you have time on like on this weekend, you can probably try to put that into the system by creating one of the custom object.
Sure, Mahendra.
Or you can talk to your friends like how do a customer raise a request. So what are the options they first receive? For example, you take an option of like these mobile service provider customer care or internet service provider customer care. So as soon as we raise a request, they will generate one number, so which means the code has to be generated automatically in the system, right? The complaint type, so that should be a pick list kind of a thing, a comment box. Then what is the current status? Did we allocated someone? What is the SLA? Did SLA crossed or not? Or did we met the status? Or what is the current status of the ticket after 24 hours? So what is the issue? How do we escalate to the next level? So this itself will give you like 10 to 12 different fields. We can build one of those fields in the one of those portrait in this system. Try that.
Okay, Mahendra.
Yeah. Okay. So back to this regular thing. Uh, so tomorrow we will be working with both regular hours and as well as overtime. Okay. So need your presence again. No one should skip tomorrow's class because once we are done with tomorrow, I guess we can wind up the timesheet and we can proceed with the leftover configurations. Okay, guys.
Okay, man.
Perfect. Good. Cheers. Try to put that into the system at the earliest, guys, because once we are done, then again it will be a problem to get back on the date to clarify all these issues.
Sure, man.
Yeah. Chalo, guys. Then see you tomorrow, same time.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Mahendra.
Bye, Manoj.
And Sandeep and Sudhir Somana says, are you guys clear with this?
Yes, Mahendra.
Sure now. Thanks.
We don't have
Because
any
Sandeep,
issue.
Sandeep, I'm really worried about you because you like you told me like you don't belong to this HR background and all that stuff. But please be open at this
Yeah, sure,
place.
Mahendra.
Okay. Yeah. Chalo guys. So see you tomorrow then. Okay.